What's he doing? Hey, finally!
That's what we've been waiting for!
They seem to like it when I make good games.
It's what we wanted all along!
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Z-Man Show. So by now, I think everybody knows that Concord, Sony's big new flagship hero shooter game that was 8 years too late, flopped hard. Like, personally, I don't remember a time where a game this big got shut down, like completely taken offline so fast. Like, the announcement from Sony that the game was being shut down came less than 2 weeks of the game's release. And if I remember correctly, this game was in production for 8 years, with a budget from anywhere in between $100 to $200 million. Don't know if there's been a confirmed budget yet, but that's what I've heard. That is rough. But not all is lost for PS5 because something else happened today that might make them a little money back. But we'll talk more about that later. Why did Concord fail? A lot of reasons. Two main ones that people are talking about, which are probably the two biggest ones. One having a much bigger impact, I think, and the second one probably not as big of an impact as people are making it out to be, but still made an impact on its performance. The first main one, hero shooter. Maybe it's just me, but I'm pretty sure most people are tired of the non-stop live service hero shooter Overwatch clone game. This was the issue that I had with the game, even though I only learned of its existence a few months ago at the PlayStation Showcase. It feels like whenever a new hero shooter is announced, everyone jumps on it saying that they don't want it. It's done, stop making them, make something else. That's not to say the genre doesn't still have its fans, I'm just saying it seems that the overall opinion is that everybody's tired of them. I know I am, but that's just what I see. And to add on to that problem, most of the hero shooters that are out right now are free to play. So Concord was going to be free to play too, right? No. It's not going to be $60 or $70. No, it's only $40. Whose idea was that? That kind of game just screams free to play. It's just how the genre works now. Maybe there's more to it than that, but that's the biggest issue I've seen with the game. Not to mention there was almost no marketing for it. Now, the second reason, I don't think this reason had a huge impact on why people didn't buy it. I'm sure it did have an impact, but I think some people are blowing it a bit out of proportion of how much it impacted it, but it is what it is. Some people did not like the fact that the game was woke. Personally, for me, I'm fine with whatever kind of ideological things they go with or principles they take or what they do with their story and their characters. As long as it's good, I'm cool. I like to see perspectives and whatnot, whether it's something I subscribe to or not. So for me, I didn't care what they were doing. Like, if the game was something that appealed to me, which, like I said before, just didn't, I would have given it a shot. I don't really care what the politics in the game is. It's just, if it's good, it's good. But of course, there are plenty of people out there that will not play a game if it subscribes to certain points of view, which, hey, that's your prerogative. If you don't want to play a game, you don't have to. If it's doing something you find you don't like, don't play it, whatever. And the other thing I've seen is that the character designs were woke. Are they? I mean, look at this. That doesn't scream political ideology to me. That just screams boring. I mean, yeah, most of the character designs in the game are just dull, boring, bad, whatever. Now, of course, ideological differences or not, you want your characters to look cool or appealing in some way. And when I say appealing, I don't mean they have to be appealing. They just have to look good, you know? And these are like, I don't want to say they're horrible, but they're just dumb looking. But I also think it's fair to say when you do want to put your ideology into a form of media or art, game, anything, right? You obviously have full freedom to do that. Totally stand up for what you want and put what you want in your media, your art, your game, anything. But if you don't make the entire thing appealing to a giant or at least much wider audience, no matter how many people are supporting the ideas that you put in there, it's not just going to succeed on that merit, usually. Like, on the opposite end of the spectrum, look at that new Daily Wire, I think, show they did on their subscription service called Mr. Bircham. It's a cartoon for conservatives. It's supposed to be making fun of everybody, but it's basically just super conservatives making fun of super liberals and stuff. And it's not funny, it's not good, it's not saying anything new, it's just the same old crap made for somebody that's gonna sit there and go, I agree with that. Nobody wants to watch that. That's not good. To see more of how bad that kind of thing is, go watch Saber Sparks' video on Mr. Bircham. It's really good, it's really funny. The video, not the show. That concept, I think, goes into Concord's situation, not nearly as much, but I still thought it was worth talking about. But there was light at the end of the tunnel. For PlayStation, not for Concord. As of today's recording, a brand new game from PlayStation also came out 2 weeks later. That's getting rated 10 out of 10 almost across the board. And you can probably guess from the thumbnail, it's Astro Bot, a mascot 3D platformer. And so far, people are loving it. Astro's Playroom, the tech demo game that came with all the PlayStation 5s, is still one of the best PlayStation 5 experiences I've ever had with the console. In some ways, that's a great thing. In other ways, that's not a great thing. But either way, it's really, really fun. And to get a whole game inspired by that is super awesome. And now it seems like Sony's gonna have a huge success on their hands right after this awful failure. Is that going to be enough to make up for all the losses that Concord made? I don't know, but it's definitely a good sign. And it's a good sign for PlayStation games as a whole, because now they might actually see that people like these kind of games. We haven't had a good mascot 3D platformer, well, since Crash 4, but they just haven't been in style for a long time. But they're coming back little by little. Not to say that's the only genre that should be being made, but it's like a video game. It's something that should come back. I mean, PlayStation had some really great 3D platformers back in the day, and if this silent protagonist in a 3D platformer can do well, maybe another silent protagonist in a 3D platformer can do well again if they make a new one. So did any of you actually play Concord? How did you like it? Are you sad that it got shut down? If it comes back and becomes free to play, are you gonna try it out? Let me know down in the comments. Thanks for watching, guys. I will see you next time on The Z-Man Show.